Hello, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we are going to look at the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot and reflect on it a little bit. Now, I think if you've been on my channel for a few videos now, you've known that US Games does send me decks for review. However, this one, I didn't need the review copy. I had already purchased this one, so but I still want to share it with you because I do think it's a fabulous deck, and I've been talking about it for a minute now. We're going to do a review today. We're going to take a look at the deck. So, I just want to talk about some of the things that I really like about this deck because I really do enjoy it. I was shocked because I knew I wanted to get it, right? Because, it's so inclusive and it was done by a Black man, which is not something that I see a lot in the tarot creation world. And I wanted it. I wanted it. I knew I was going to get it from the day it came out. It came out around Christmas. My money was a little short, but I did. It was like one of the first decks I picked up this year. I could not wait. I needed it, but I did not expect it. I did not expect this deck to hit me the way that it did. I really, really enjoy it, and it's unusual for me because this is not my art style. I am not into fantasy art. I am not into dragons and things, but I like this deck. So there it was. So let's talk about it. This guidebook holds nothing back. It is clearly, this deck is clearly a passion project. And if you don't know, Wayne Rodney, the creator of the deck, actually has a YouTube page where he goes into a lot of the stuff, the thoughts that he had behind, the creation of the deck. So if you want to check that out, I will definitely link that in the description box below. I'll link his playlist so that you can go down that rabbit hole. I watched a few of them. Some of them I have held off on until I worked with the deck some. I wanted to kind of get my own, thing going before I went too deep down the rabbit hole. But I have watched quite a few. I love them because they're nice and short. You can, knock them out real quick and still get a good amount of information from him. So those are great. Definitely check them out. Description box below. So now, everything that you need to know about this project is here in the book. There's nothing held back. I really, if anything else you might want to know is in the YouTube videos. So it's a fun deep dive. You know what I mean? Like it's a fun deep dive into a deck. It's an experience. I like a deck when it's an experience. At this point, I have a lot of decks, and I like it when a deck comes into my life and it's more than just a deck. It gives me more. So this one definitely gave me more. All right, so we have the Lesser Secrets. There's some alchemy. Then it goes through the introduction and everything gives you an overview of the history of tarot and where he was coming from when he made the deck. The Fool's Journey, the levels of meaning. It goes into some spreads in the back, how to use the cards. It's everything you need in one book. If you're a newbie, this would be a fabulous deck to learn on because it sticks close enough to the if you want to learn, from a Rider Waite style deck, sticks close enough, but it veers enough to also let your intuition blossom. So that's nice as well. For a beginner guidebook, it would be really great. Even for me, I like having these sort of reference points in the book, so I don't have to go find another book. So that's nice. Um, for the minors, now in this deck, he did put the minors before the majors because he said he felt like, the minor arcana represents the initial experiences in your life, which then lead you to the introspective experiences of going through this sort of fool's journey through the journey of the archetypes. So the minor arcana should come first. For the minors, you get lots of keywords, upright and reversed if you want, and then it gives you some information about not only the energy of the card meaning, but also sort of some information about the symbolism that he's put within the imagery. So that's nice as well. For the majors, you get a larger size image, the same keyword situation, a whole lot more information than the minors, but it's the same style where you get some information about the energy and some information about the symbolism that he's put within the cards or the story that's behind the card there, because the majors have a story. So I love this image. Oh my gosh, let me show you something. 1 minute. Hold please. And look at this one. Oh my gosh, it's the Emperor card. I love it so much. I put it in my deck and walk book so that I can see it every time I open this book. It's so beautiful. Artwork is stunning and detailed and intentional, and it glows. I love it. I got actually a lot. Let me show you. I got a couple of bookmarks. There is our Fortuna from the Auspicious Symbols, which I also have a walkthrough of. I'll link it in the cards for you. And I also got, look, wait for it. The ancestors from the El Camino Oracle, which I think the walkthrough for that one should be out by now. So I will link that in the cards for you as well. Lots of fun decks this month. Okay. All right, so that's enough of that. I love the bookmarks because they're giant, and the tarot books, these tarot books are big as hell, so we need big as hell bookmarks, and I love those, and they're so pretty. Okay, so that's the guidebook, and we'll read from it later, but I am going to now, we'll go through the cards. So those are our backs. Oh my God, they are so fun. Love them. Okay, so let's zoom in, and we'll take a look at the cards because I put them back in order for you all so you can see them in the order that they came in. One moment. Okay, so let's just talk really quickly about the logistics of the cards before I do the flip through, and then I'm just going to be quiet and let you take a look because there's a lot to look at, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. So to start with, the omegas are aces. The the playing card at the bottom associates with the elemental suits. So clubs would be fire or wands, and the diamonds would associate with earth or pentacles. The hearts associate with water or cups, and the spades associate with air or swords, just so that you know. And as you're flipping through, so you know what you're looking at, although it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty intuitive. So I'm just going to put on the music and let you take a look. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about some of the things that make this deck just a little bit different from other decks. First up, the knaves. So our knaves, which would be our pages in the typical RWS or the Hoff deck or any other styled tarot deck, um, have two sides to them. They all have a young side and an old side, or a mature side and a naive side. I can't remember. Hang on, let me zoom out just a little so you can see. Um, and I'm just going to read you one from the guidebook so that you can get a feel for um, how they read. So let's read the Knave of Blades. I'm going to read that. You can pause it and read it for yourself if you prefer. So I'm reading the Knave of Blades, which is this one, because our spades are blades, which are swords. So we have logic, keen, perspective, selfishness, immoral, espionage, and manipulation. The Knave of Blades has the gift of perception. The youthful aspect of this card represents a person who walks on the threshold between integrity and dishonesty. He can quickly evaluate the character of others. The mature element, so I'll just flip him so you can see his mature side. The mature element of the Knave of Blades card is a jaded and selfish rogue who cares little about how his actions impact others. He acts without scruple, going after his desires with no guiding principles. The Knave of Blades is secretive and manipulative. Be wary if you encounter an individual who embodies these attributes. So it gives you a, just a regular, meaning for it, and then a mature meaning, which could, be a reversed meaning, or however you want to see that. I just kind of see it as, he says, mature, as it gets a little stronger meaning, So that is one thing that makes this deck just a little bit different. Another thing that I want to bring to your attention is that the knaves and the knights all have a animal that's associated with them. The knaves, because they have two sides, have two animals, and the knights are all riding their own specific animal. So there's that. So that's fun to bring in that animal correspondence. Even some of these are not necessarily animals that we see alive today, but it's still cool to learn a little bit more about their animals and what they're riding. So one of my favorite cards in this deck is the Chariot card because it's a little bit different and it goes its own way. You do have your two horses here, your dark and your light horse, and you do have your charioteer, but he is, he's a little bit different. So I thought we'd read from him in the guidebook so you can kind of get a feel for how the guidebook doesn't leave you hanging when things go their own way. And so this is, he's called the Selector, or the Charioteer in this book. His keywords are balance, dynamic, energetic, alternating, shifting, cyclical, revolving, orchestrating, navigating, and engineering. And it says every day we are knowingly and unknowingly subjected to influences beyond our control, whether it's the cycles of nature, like the seasons, economic fluctuations, the movement of the planets and stars, or our own biological rhythms. The Selector, or Charioteer, represented by the DJ, is all about understanding these cycles of life and gaining mastery over our reactions to them. Instead of being a leaf blowing in the wind, the charioteer can chart their course wisely by understanding these cycles. Some of the natural cycles the charioteer encounters are those related to the number 7, such as the 7 days of the week, 7 stages of life, 7 alchemical planets and metals, the 7 chakras or energy centers. It symbolizes reining in the restless horses of the polar extremities, finding balance and the middle path of equilibrium despite being pulled in each direction. Its influence is that of the zodiac of Cancer and the element of water. When this card appears in a reading, it may be asking the querent to examine reoccurring patterns. It could also represent the querent's mastery of their environment. And so that is the Chariot. And so see, it did go its own way, but he still kind of took us down his path with him. So yeah, I think that this is a beautiful deck. The only critique that I have of it is that I wish that it was on a bigger cardstock. I wish it was on like the cardstock that the Urban Tarot was on, that size, so that I could see the paintings better because my eyes are bad. And there's a lot on these cards. Now they're very busy, and there's a lot to look at. So I have to strain sometimes. I have to like really get them close to my face sometimes. But it's worth it because there's a lot to see. Oh, this one is a favorite. So these cards that I'm showing you now are some of my favorites. And this Three of Swords, for this one, I did have to look it up. It was not in the guidebook what the Latin words there say, but I think if I remember correctly, it says to think, to know, and to understand. And then this says, but deliver us from evil. So I thought that was very interesting for a Three of Swords. These are just some of my favorite cards that I'm showing you here now. But yeah, so I think that this is a beautiful deck. Like I said, it's worth it for me to to do the research that I've been doing and squint and find all the things. What I find is that when I'm reading from it, even though it's busy, even though it's not the style of art that I would normally like, I actually enjoy reading from these cards in the same way I can get hits from these cards in the same way I can from like an RWS deck, because I recognize the symbolism, and I can find little Easter eggs and things in here to give me even more to look at. Yeah, I've been enjoying reading from these. I really have. I do. He called them intuitive, and rightfully so, because they really do give you hits when you're, and if you sit and kind of think about what's in the card and what does it mean, you can use your intuition to find meanings and links between what you see on your table, and I enjoy it. I really do. So it is a great, it's been a good experience for me. I've been able to pair this deck with quite a few other decks. This, I didn't think I would be able to pair with anything because, like I said, I don't have a lot of fantasy art decks. It's colorful and beautiful, and it just goes with a lot of things. So I'll show you a couple of pairings real quick before we go, and then I'll let you go. So the cardstock. Okay, so the cardstock is typical US Games cardstock. It is, it's not glossy, it's not matte, it's not like a pure matte, but it doesn't catch the light unless you're like shining the light directly on it. It's not gonna mess up your photographs or nothing like that. And it is, for me, I can riffle shuffle it, and I have small hands because the deck is standard tarot size. Hang on one second, let me get you. It's standard tarot size. I would normally use a deck this size. So this is a standard tarot deck. They are the same size. Um, so yeah, this is a standard RWS size. And that's the only thing I would change about it. I swear. I just wish it was on a bigger size. But yeah, it doesn't chip up. It moves great. They are a little bit slippy, but not slippy like glossy slippy. They have a little coating on them, which is nice because it means that they move easily. You don't have to force them. They just do what they're supposed to do. And I like that about them. So, all right. So that's the cardstock. And let's take a look at some pairings. I wanted to show you kind of what I paired with it. I got some really great readings with a couple of decks that I paired this with. So let me show you. So this is the Auspicious Symbols for Luck and Healing Oracle deck. I had an unboxing of this, review of this. I will link it in the cards for you if you want to see it. I love this deck. It was not on my radar, but I enjoy it quite a bit. And I really liked the way that they paired. It wasn't like a matchy pair, but because this deck is very gentle, very soft, and this deck, it's not, I wouldn't call it harsh, but I also wouldn't call it, it's deep, I guess. It's deep. And this one is soft. And so you get deep but gentle messages between the two of them, if that makes sense. And I liked it. It made this deck deeper, but took the edge off of this one, if that makes sense. This one took the edge off of this one, and this one made this one deeper, gave it deeper messages. So I liked this pairing a lot, and I think they look great together. I mean, it's not matchy, but it still looks good together. So that is the auspicious symbols for luck and healing. This one is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. These are from Hay House. I thought that I might think that they look nice together, and they do. They're both very earthy. One is very fantasy, and the other one is more shamanic, but they still gave me a good feel. They felt, I mean, they're different art styles and they're different cultures, right? But they still they read well together. So we have the Knave of Swords or the Page of Swords with the Wheel and the Wise One. Grow within your current situation, right? So no matter what's going on and how the wheel is turning, you have to, you have to keep going. You can't stay young and naive forever, right? Oh, so I like the echo here of this wand being held out and this scepter being held out um, and offered for someone to take. Connect your emotions with the High Priestess. Interesting. Like, I found a lot of echoes in the imagery, and because these cards really take me into the imagery and let me sit and think and look at what's going on in the card. It also helped me to do the same with this deck because I don't usually do it with this deck. I just take the messages and the guidebook and go. But I found a lot of interesting things in this deck from the because this one was inspiring me to look within the images a little bit deeper. So I enjoyed this pairing. I enjoyed it. And then another one, probably my favorite one was probably this one. This is the Messenger Oracle. I actually have this one and the Secret Oracle. Both of them would be a good pairing for this. I really enjoyed this one. This was my favorite, probably, of all of them. They just look great together. Hang on, let me take some away. Wow. Yeah. Because like I said, I don't have a lot of fantasy art decks. So when I got this out, I had to pull this one out because it's like one of the only fantasy art decks on my shelves. So and they really do look great together. So yeah, that was my favorite pairing there. This is the Messenger Oracle or the Secret Oracle because they have similar art styles now. If and they look the same as far as like the setup of the card and the art styles. They have different messages, so either one of these would work, I think. Okay, so that's it. it. Tell me what you think about this deck. If you have it and you're working with it, what are you doing with it? Are you liking it? Have you found anything fun that I missed here that you wanted to highlight? Let us know in the comments below. Also, have you been pairing it with anything? I know a lot of people are pairing it with the African Goddess Rising Oracle, which I do have. Haven't tried it with it yet, but I'm sure they're going to pair fabulously. I saw it on Phyllis Santucci's channel that they pair well. And yeah, so if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few weeks regarding tarot and oracle. I'll put the links to where you can get this deck below. I do have an Amazon affiliate link. I'll post it below. I'll also post the US Game Systems link. If you're in the US, you can purchase directly from them. They do sometimes have good sales. And I will also post, I'll put in the link below the artist Wayne Rodney's um, his YouTube channel because he does have all those good videos about the deck. So, and then that's it. So until next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye.